Hey Maverick Hunters, Zero here. In this video, we're going to break Wattson and discuss what we can do to make her a better legend. Currently on Twitter, there's a discussion going on between Respawn devs and pro players on if Wattson needs to be improved or not. Now, currently, she is a low-picked legend and does not feel good to play. Most players aren't picking Wattson and not picking defensive legends, for that matter, in their entirety. With the exception of Gibraltar, most defensive legends right now are at the bottom of the barrel and not really doing their job. Specifically, Wattson, all her abilities feel bad. And even though her win rate is high, her pick rate is low, which basically just means people who know how to play Wattson, similar to people who know how to play Caustic, pick her because they're comfortable with her. They just know how to play her. So we're going to discuss changes that we would make to bring her up to par with some of the mid-tier to high-tier legends and just make her an overall defensive legend. Before we get started, I'd really appreciate it if you liked the video, give subscribe for more content, and if you're ever so inclined, go ahead and follow me on Twitch, link in the description. Now, let's jump into some ideas that I have on how to fix Wattson. Now, one of the first things I would recommend is that Wattson's passive regenerates shields as fast as Octane generates health. Now, that being said, currently Octane is top of the line in the meta. Octane moves fast, runs fast, eats fast, does everything fast, especially regenerate health. Notably, an Octane player, generally speaking, doesn't have to carry syringes because of how good the health regen is. And now Wattson slowly regenerates shields, much like Octane did in his first iteration. I say bring Wattson up to where Octane currently is and let her regenerate her shields to make her more of a threat. If you stack Wattson next to her ult, she should be regenerating shields absolutely quickly and fast. She is a defensive legend, and so that gives her a little bit more of a buffer, even if it's one more shot in next to her ult, to be able to put up a good defense and fight for her team and represent her team. I think this will make Wattson strong, and while not overpowered, she'd also have the passive ability to regenerate her teammate shields, albeit shield swapping between her team during the low ends of the game. It gives her a lot of potential. Again, if Gibraltar can have a dome and Gibraltar can have a gun shield, then Wattson should be able to regenerate shields as fast as a non-tank legend such as Octane regenerates health. Alright, what else would I do to fix Wattson? Wattson has 6 charges of her tactical and or reduce the cooldown from 30 seconds to 15 seconds. Now this one is a little bit more tricky. And so I don't think doing both of these is smart. I think you should do one or the other. And here's why I think that. So if we give Wattson 6 charges, which is half of her total she can have out at one time up front, and the cooldown doesn't have to be reduced because she can reasonably set up a defensive perimeter quickly and then have to wait to expand that perimeter 30 seconds per node, which is totally fair. If we're going to give her 4, then after she lays down to 4, it needs to be 15 seconds. Too often times we find ourselves laying down some nodes, and then an opponent sneezes on them, and then we have to wait 30 whole seconds, which is an eternity for a cooldown. Rampart doesn't have to wait that long. Caustic doesn't have to wait that long. And again, Gibraltar can just throw down a dome shield instantaneously after 30 seconds and protect his team from any incoming problems, from literally anything. And so we need to, as Wattson players, be able to defend our team reasonably and quickly without interference. Worth noting that Wattson has to go from one side of a wall to the other in order to effectively set up a decent fence, whereas the other legends don't have to do that. Caustic can throw his, Gibraltar can throw his, and Rampart can just place a wall down in a few seconds, one after the other in succession, and create herself a little four-corner little box that she can effectively set up shield in and be offensive. Wattson is not offensive. Wattson is 100% defensive legend, and so increasing her fences to be defensive is not a bad thing, because she's not going to go out of her way and deal damage. All of her kit is designed to just keep people away, keep incoming artillery from messing up a team's position, and defend. That's just, no other defensive legend is solely defensive. Every defensive legend has an offensive ability that they use to control enemy teams. So if I was going to update Wattson, I'd definitely give her more charges or reduce the cooldown of her tactical. All right, next up on the list we have Wattson can use ultimate accelerants 25% faster. So currently Wattson can carry 2 ultimate accelerants per stack, which is great. But what's the point of her not being able to use them faster if her ult no longer lasts forever, which I agree with. I think having it last indefinitely is not good for balancing. But let her be able to be in combat and have the players be confident that, hey, I gotta pop an ultimate accelerant quickly, and now right now the healing, or rather the time it takes to pop an ultimate accelerant, is the same amount of time it takes to pop a Phoenix kit. With that being said, I think that the ultimate accelerant should be popped as fast as a battery. Most players feel confident popping a battery in combat. So I don't exactly know if that's 25%, but I do know reducing it from about 7 seconds to about 5 seconds would feel a lot better. So that way Wattson can drop an ult, rotate a little bit forward, drop another one. And now Wattson is now creating spaces where her team feels safe, and perhaps going from one pylon to another, dragging fences along with her in order to set up a defensive area. Again, because you can shoot through the fences, it doesn't make sense for her to not be able to get them down quickly. And all they're doing is telling the enemy team to not push me, stay away. And with Octane being in the meta near the top, having anyone be able to jump into your fence line deserves to be punished, and Wattson should be able to put down her pylons as much as she can. And if you do that buff, if that was a proposed buff, she can only have 3 out at a time anyway. So she could easily, with her 1 that she has already loaded and 2 ultimate accelerants, drop down 3 pylons to protect her team and make her more viable defensive legend. And last but not least, my final suggestion to make Wattson a great defensive legend would be to increase pylon health from 200 to 100 from 150. Now, currently, the pylon only has 150 health, which means that it can get one clipped by just about anything, which, it stops grenades, which is cool, and all incoming artillery. But I still think 150 is too low. When we're talking about defensive utility that other legends have, Rampart's walls have 400 health at the base. I believe 150 health at the shield portion of the wall. So that's a lot of health for just one wall and one piece of utility coming out of defensive legend. Again, we talk about Gibraltar, who drops the dome shield, and that's just there forever until it's done being used or wears off. And currently Caustic's gas traps can be shot out pretty much anywhere, which is a whole nother conversation we're going to have. We often have on stream. But I digress. Wattson's pylon, give it 200 health, make them work for it. Let it have more health. If you were to say, well, Zero, if you give the ultimate accelerants 25% faster, won't increasing the health of the pylons be too much? That's probably true. If I could put down my pylons faster, perhaps increasing their health wouldn't be as good and might be overpowered. But I still believe that making the pylon harder to kill, and forcing someone to leave cover in order to shoot a pylon that presumably the Wattson player carefully placed behind a wall or a rock somewhere where the enemy couldn't obviously shoot it. So forcing your opponent to leave cover, push the pylon, and then just shoot it for only 150 health, or a white shield opponent, if you think of it in terms of enemies, you know how easy it is to shoot out someone with white shields. As a matter of fact, when you shoot someone, they have white shields, typically you're inclined to go push and kill them and punish them for only having white shields. So that's what her ultimate ability has. That's as much health as her ultimate has. And I'm just suggesting that because it's her ultimate, you should give her the ultimate, the equivalent of a purple body shield or 200 total health. So, those are my current takes on Wattson. This is my top 4 suggestions on how I'd make her better. How would you improve Wattson? What would you do? Are you a Wattson player? Were you a Wattson player? Do you wish Wattson was better? Do you wish defensive legends in general were played more and felt better to play? Let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate and will read all your comments. And and all the likes you give this video. I appreciate each and every one of you Maverick Hunters. I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. To see more guides and gameplay, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. And don't forget, you can catch me live on Twitch by following the link in the description. I've been Zero, and you guys are the Maverick Hunters, and I'll see you all next time.